At the interview, a girl named Go Mi-hyun was asked about her motivation for participating in the program. She said she wanted to fall in love. Go Mi-hyun dreams of a love that will make her heart beat faster. Song Ji-so's mom is a big fan of dating shows. Having her daughter participate in a dating show is her mother's cherished dream. Sung Ji-so asks her mom if she's watching. Henry thought about the fact that he had never loved anyone. He decided that he would like to experience that feeling at least once. Han Joy considers meeting his true match to be magic and a dream come true. He's sure it's worth the risk. Won Kyung-so expressed uncertainty. Doko Hong, thinking of the cash prize, reflected on his excessive honesty. Hae Orim came on the show to find love. Her younger brother's sister advised her to start dating. The girl put her finger to her lips thoughtfully and pondered her charms. She decided that cute and charming was an apt description and laughed softly. The girl dreamily contemplated meeting someone she would like and hoped for reciprocity. Satisfied with the result, the hero announced the end of the interview. The crew thanked the model for her work and had a chance to rest. The girl was asked to change the ribbon. They brought food. The girl with the ponytail marveled at the freshness of the spicy fish stew and sashimi. She was told it was today's catch. Hae Orim was asked to wait an hour before the next shooting. The girl turned off the microphone. Hae Orim understood. The girl noted that no one had come to see her in a long time, and it was oddly pleasant. The action takes place on a small island remote from the mainland. This island is the location of the set of the dating program, Paradise, on Earth. 8 attractive men and women will live together on an island for a month as they try to win each other's hearts in a reality dating show. The house where the contestants will live is set on a picturesque island surrounded by the ocean. The action takes place at the gates of a certain establishment labeled Heaven on Earth. The director, who has previously directed a very successful survival show, has taken up a high-budget project. This project is generating a lot of excitement. The maximum prize was $400 million. Couples who successfully pass the true feelings test will be able to leave the island with a prize. Everyone has their own reasons for participating. Some are looking for true love, and some are looking for recognition. All characters pursue their own goals by joining something. The girl, throwing money in the air, her goal is simple. Someone was anxiously watching the instrument readings on the screen. The girl calms down by promising Narim that everything will be fine. The girl was told that after the transplant, the pain would subside and she would recover quickly. Narim worries that they have no money for the operation. Her older sister reassures her, saying that she has money. She carefully strokes Narim's head and promises that when she is well, they will return to school together. She describes how they will wear uniforms, eat lunch, and spend time with friends. The girl with the sly expression on her face was up to something. Orim thought it was an opportune moment. She is determined to make it to the final selection. She's sure she'll win the prize. On the 3rd day of filming, the crew worked on the front lawn of a large house. On the 3rd day, everyone started to have romantic interests. A blonde-haired young man gave a girl named Kyung-seo a red flower. He complimented her by saying that the color red suited her well. Looking at the car, the guy noted the similarity of the car to his own, which pleased him. The girl noticed that it was an expensive brand of car. The girl with pink hair looked at her interlocutor happily as she sat on the bench with him. The guy opened the can. The girl said he was strong and thanked him. The man advised the girl to do some exercise. The girl, breathing heavily, asked what he was holding in his hands. The girl admitted that she has very weak grip strength. She thinks strong people are incredibly cool. Ju Gum-il seemed nice to her. He likes to lead and has a strong pride, while remaining feminine, but having a tendency to be protective. The girl, giggling, wondered if Kim-il would remember if she couldn't open the jar. Jum-il smiles embarrassedly and scratches the back of his head, saying that he'll open up to her now. The weather outside was beautiful. The girl asked Sanwoo if he was doing any sports. Sanwoo asked her in surprise. Orim, sitting on a bench, admires his tall stature and trim figure. She noticed that Bang Sung-woo has big hands. Bang Sung-woo is simple, doesn't shy away from physical affection, and falls for straightforwardness. She suggested he try holding hands. He reacted with surprise. The young man in the blue sweater froze in embarrassment. The two touched palms. The girl notices that his hand is twice the size of hers. She giggles and asks if she can feel the difference. The young man looked at her in embarrassment. Orim noticed that Sanwoo's face was very red and asked if his heart was fluttering. Sanwoo, sitting at the table with the girl, embarrassedly denies it. Mi-hyun walked pensively across the veranda. She put her finger to her lips thoughtfully. Today, the partners for the meal together were chosen by vote among the men. Dabi with Namgung. Ujjae, Han-joy with Won Kyung-se, Doko Hong and Dale have lunch on the open veranda. Dale takes pictures of the food. Yoo Do-hyuk and Sim Jaeon are having lunch together. Monica reacted to Henry Choi's words with joyful surprise. Bang Sung-woo and Ju Gum-il walked together. Hae-rim giggled, covering her mouth with her hand. Those who received no votes will dine together at a separate location. There is a mouth-watering tomato, ham and cheese sandwich, and canapes on the table. They were wished a pleasant rendezvous in heaven on earth. The girls are outraged at the unfairness of the situation. They are sitting at a table called the zero-vote table. One of the girls agrees with the other's opinion. The girl dreamed of dating a guy named Sanwoo. Go Mi-hyun didn't get any votes and was very upset because she's a girl with a crush. Girl thinks that they need to act more actively because there are many competitors at the contest. She is concerned that they might be cut from the show if they fail. Song Ji-so, who didn't get any votes, likes information and gossip. The girl was surprised that she was considered an older sister. Ji-soo thinks she looks younger around her. Yang. Ahra enjoys the flavor of the dish. Mi-hyun asked perplexedly if the other was really eating it now. Orim confirmed it. Mi-hyun expressed her displeasure. Kyung-so is surrounded by guys again. Mi-hyun looks at the girl in the cafe and admires her beauty. As she looks at her, she wonders why she looks familiar. Ji-so is surprised that she doesn't recognize her. One Kyung-so from some girl group was thinking about something while holding a wine glass in her hand. Turns out she's an acting idol. The girls were surprised by a certain girl's participation in the show. One of the girls sees an idol so close for the first time. Sitting at a table, the girls discuss whether it's okay for idols to participate in a dating show. They think that the girl is not very famous. Perhaps the girl came to the show to become more popular. Mi-hyun, realizing what she had heard, hesitated. She decided to clarify the details. She waits silently for a response. Mi-hyun asks if Hyeorim is a celebrity. Someone asked about Hyeorim, and they assumed that Hyeorim was an ordinary person. In response to this assumption, the interviewee was surprised. Mi-hyun watches Oryem with a glass and thinks she's too obvious in her attempts at flirting and doesn't like her. Mi-hyun noticed something that the others noticed as well. Ji-so thinks she's too brash like a queen bee. One girl thinks the other girl is sly and conniving, and guys don't see it. Sitting at a table in the garden, the girls discuss Orim. One of the girls admitted that she didn't like this person from the beginning. The girls have come to the conclusion that everyone thinks the same about this persona. Orim, holding her fork, was thinking about something. Orim looks at them and assumes they are talking about her. The girl, enjoying her meal, wondered if she had become a villain. Kyung-so was forbidden to leave his seat. 3 girls gathered around a table on the lawn. Kyung-so leaned over the table. The girl wondered with a slight smile at Mi-hyun if gossiping about other people was really that entertaining. The girl marveled. Kyung-so was asked to return to his seat. The girls at the table marveled at what was happening. Kyung-so agreed to come back. Kyung-so, in a light-colored dress, got ready to leave. She looked thoughtfully away. Orim looks away puzzled, holding a fork in his hand. Kyung-so turned around. A girl with a pensive expression is thinking about something. Surprised, she wonders. She decided to just ignore something, deeming it unimportant, holding the glass in her hand. The heroine reflects that he doesn't care if people talk about him behind his back or make him look like a villain. She emphasizes that none of this matters. The only thing that matters to him remained unspoken. Narim woke up. She quietly called out to someone as sister. Haerim and his interlocutor decide to clink glasses. She takes the wine glass. Whatever happens, the girl with the glass of wine made a toast. She was sure she would win the HE prize and take it home. 2 discarded fish fluttered on the sand. A bird picked up a fish on the beach with its beak. A gray heron swallows the remains of a fish on the shore. The heron looked around curiously. A gray heron screeched loudly on the shore. The bird sweated nervously. The bird opened its beak wide. She looked surprised. Someone threw a fish in the air. A man asked what has been happening with the fish lately. Another man replied that it was fresh fish. Someone notices that the fish seems stickier than usual. Another character wonders if this is really the case. The fish was cleaned with a sharp knife. Regardless, the food seemed incredibly delicious. One of the men asked the others if they had seen the newcomers filming a movie here. A man in a purple t-shirt noted that they were all very good-looking, and another man added that there were a lot of strong young guys there. An older man in a cap remarked that they looked just like he did when he was younger. The man in the Matiya Ayin cap laughs at him, saying that everyone has seen what he looked like when he was younger. The other man asks what he is trying to do. Mr. Kim in the blue shirt is tense. Someone asked Mr. Kim if he was okay. Mr. Kim apparently choked up. A man in a cap called out to someone. The other man, dressed in dark clothes, turned around. He recognized the man who had called out to him as Mr. Kim. Someone called out to Mr. Kim. You can see an island in the middle of the sea. This island is home to the largest dating reality survival show in the world. With perpetual spring weather and bright, beautiful flowers blooming all year round, this place is truly heaven on earth. The grand prize of this paradisiacal survival dating reality show is a huge sum. In front of someone lay 400 million won in gold bars. Participants were reminded that the more couples who passed the final challenge, the more money out of the 400 million would be divided between them. Two lovers holding hands. On the 7th day of filming, someone claimed to have already explained everything. The young man explained to the girl that his job was to prevent the other girls from making it to the final round. To do that, he would have to flirt with them. Doko Hong, a money-obsessed video blogger with 700,000 subscribers, has figured out how not to share prize money. A guy confessed his feelings to a girl. The girl, a little embarrassed, said she trusted him but felt uncomfortable. She admitted that she felt a little uneasy. The girl is drinking coffee while thinking about Doko Hoon. He's trying to date Sung Ji-so and Dalai at the same time. Perhaps he'll end up being paired with one of them. 1. Kyung-so is surrounded by the attention of several guys. Apparently, Won Kyung-so will eventually choose one of her many fans. From the very beginning, Shim Jaeon and Yoo Do-yuk have been completely engrossed in each other. They are already acting like a real couple. Orim, thinking about the pairs, remembered herself as well. She calculated that there were 4 pairs in all. The character pondered that if everyone passed the final test, each couple would receive 100 million won. She held a glass of drink in her hands and thought about her share of 50 million won. The character thought about the upcoming final challenge and what would be required of them. The girl was pondering who to choose, Pan Sung-woo or Ju Geum-il. Someone pondered which of the 2 young men depicted would be the perfect partner for the final challenge. The girl laughs as the young man makes her laugh. A young man asked a girl why she was so cute. The girl was embarrassed by the compliment. The girl, wrapped in a yellow cape, smiled contentedly, saying he was good at it. A man was cooking and the girl asked him if he liked it. The girl praised his skill with a knife. The man replied that he cooks from time to time. She assumed that Sung-woo works in the restaurant business. He sliced the lotus root while evading the question. When asked if it was curious, it was answered that it was a secret. She answered in the negative to some question, adding that the backstory didn't matter. The girl in the yellow t-shirt looks on in surprise as he does something in the kitchen. She confessed her sympathy for Sung-woo. Sung-woo reacted with embarrassment at the confession. The girl thought about the fact that she wasn't here for love. The girl thinks that the interlocutor is kind, sincere, and with a pure heart. She asks him what his favorite dish is, and she thought he might be better than Jeom-il. The 2 girls were surprised to see the food Sun-woo had prepared. One of the girls complimented Sung-woo on his cooking skills. Go Min-hoo, who is in love with Bang Sung-woo, has a crush on him and offers her help. He embarrassedly assured her that everything was fine. Her gaze was directed to the side. The girl is watching someone with a sly expression on her face. She thought someone was jealous. Min-hoo is sure the girl doesn't like him. The girl, embarrassed, invites him for a swim. In fact, her sympathies belong to another guy, Sung-woo. The woman coquettishly adjusts her cape, feeling a little guilty about being overly serious about the situation. The girl, upon hearing the news from Ji-so, hesitates. She asks if the person she's talking to knows that one of the contestants is an idol. Kyung-so turned out to be a member of the group What Girl. The heroine remembered where she saw a girl she knew. She found a news story about Won Kyung-soo who was accused of assaulting a fan. Kyung-so is known for her bad temper. A very jealous girl keeps the other band members in line. Ironically, it is the one that is least popular. She's a nightmare to work with. At the autograph session, one fan ignored the girl with dark hair. She slapped them on the back of her palm. Someone confidently stated that they would do it with a pen. The girl looked thoughtfully away. Some people think the girl is a total psychopath. A girl touches a guy named Sung-woo. The unknown person tells Sung-woo to stay away from her. Pensively looking at the plate, the character heard the clinking of dishes. The young man, reflecting on Min-hoo, decided that she was no serious competition for him. He noted her lack of subtlety. Someone informed Sung-woo about another test, the final compatibility test. The girl in the yellow coat is doing her work. This test is to see if you truly love your partner. The girl thinks about the fact that the final test of the show is dedicated to the theme of true love. She ponders how exactly the participants' feelings will be tested. With the help of a lie detector, an assessment of sincerity throughout the show, or perhaps audience voting. The girl in yellow, her back turned, thinks it's obvious who's just here for the money. The girl pondered that getting involved with such a person would only hurt people looking for love. Someone turned to Sung-woo. A girl with dark hair worries about being seen as mercurial. Someone rebuked Min-hoo for being too interested in other people's affairs. Min-hoo muttered something to himself. A man holding a plate looks in surprise at a woman in a swimsuit. The girl covers herself embarrassedly, pondering someone's ulterior motives. The young man stated that he chooses the one he likes. The girl with blonde hair and a flower in her ear was thinking about something. A girl named probably Sung-woo hugged the guy while he was busy in the kitchen. The girl in the swimsuit pressed herself against the man, and another girl in a yellow robe stood next to her. The girl in the robe thought of a man named Ban Sung-woo. The girl in the yellow robe thought about the straightforwardness of someone. The image shows the entrance to the building in the evening. Someone suggested smoking where there are no cameras. A pink-haired girl was slapped. The girl in the cap reminds us that what's going on is a reality show. She believes that someone shouldn't be suspended all the time. The pink-haired girl wonders why she is suddenly forbidden to smoke when she used to do it without any problems. The girl in the cap, rubbing her neck, recalls that she was promised that she would be allowed to smoke, but only in private. The girl with pink hair mentions the principal. The girl with the cap scratches her head and asks where the rest of the staff are. A girl in a cap is waiting for her phone as she is expecting an important call. While she waits, it is already dark and 3 other people are sitting at the table. She is told to wait a little longer. The hero was tiredly waiting for someone. He nervously rubbed the fabric of his clothes. He also couldn't get in touch with the people he was waiting for. The unknown character decided to try calling again. The wall clock showed about 3:30. The girl reflected that calls couldn't be put off too long. In paradise, the use of personal phones during the day is prohibited. All personal devices will be taken away from participants each morning at 9 o'clock. The devices are returned at 9 p.m. This is supposed to help participants focus on each other, but the employee, understanding her interlocutor's situation, decided to make an exception for him. One character asks another to be on call if anything happens to Narim. He is reminded of the need for the guardian's consent. It is emphasized that the interlocutor is Narim's sole guardian. He is asked to check every night to see if Narim is okay. The girl thinks about Narim, who is probably awake and waiting for her. She is also worried about when their phones will be returned. The girl entered the room hoping it wasn't too late. A man in a cap watches her. The girl, breathing heavily, grabbed her sleeve. She was concerned about her condition. The character is in discomfort. The man scratched his arm, feeling itchy. The image shows a video camera. The girl wondered about Sung-woo's seriousness. The young man stated that he chooses who he likes. The girl felt like she was playing with someone else's emotions. It was wearing her down a lot. She sighed tiredly. The girl looked away and thought about something. She would have to be patient a little longer, just a week. The girl cheerfully called out to someone. A girl with long blonde hair and brown eyes looked away thoughtfully. A girl with long brown hair was looking at someone. Do-hyuk wondered about the girl. The young man recognized Kyung-soo as the girl. The girl looked away sharply. A girl rudely asks a young man to leave. The guy, holding her back, asks why she is acting like this since she likes it. The girl calls the guy crazy. Someone tried to free themselves from the grip, the holder asked, if they were made for each other. The girl was staring at something with astonishment. She was nervously rubbing the edge of her blouse. The girl wondered if she should intervene. A character in house slippers ponders that standing out too much is not a good thing. The young man reminded the girl of the agency's order to stay close to him. The character admitted that he came to this show because of someone. The girl decided that what was happening was getting out of hand. She realized she had to stop him. The guy with the earring in his ear looked questioningly at the girl with dark hair. The girl hesitated. She opened the door and said a shy hello. The girl asks frightenedly what the uninvited guest needs. The young man apologizes, explaining that he was passing by and heard voices. The young man asked those around him to give him and his girlfriend some personal space to talk. The girl touched the redness on her hand. The girl behind doesn't seem to want to talk, but she doesn't. A slyly smiling girl with long brown hair presses her hand to her chest. A man with an earring in his ear asks the girl something in surprise. The girl with dark hair looks at him calmly. After a short silence, the man hesitates. The man was breathing heavily when he heard the call. A young man with an earring in his ear advised someone to mind their own business and walk away. The girl fixes her hair thoughtfully. Someone was shuffling their slippers. The man quietly approached the woman. Doobie turned to the girl, asking if she wished to continue their conversation. Someone called out to Do-hyuk. Do-hyuk turned around in surprise. O-rim brushes his teeth in a room that happens to have no cameras. Doobie is puzzled in thought. He is clearly surprised by what is happening. The man tensed as he stared, covered in sweat. He suddenly realized something. A security camera went off in the room. O-rim asked Dobai if she was doing something weird. The guy resented the girl's joke. Doobie assured the girl that they were just talking. He chuckled and remarked that he and she had the same sense of humor. O-rim looked at the guy in surprise. Doobie suggested to O-rim that they get along. He put his hand on her shoulder encouragingly. O-rim swept the boy with a glance. The girl was thinking about something, thinking he wanted to flirt alone. Kyung-soo inquired as to the reason for the help. assumed it had something to do with last time. One Kyung-so listened with interest about Ho-Oh-Ryum. The woman asked her interlocutor with a slight smile if he enjoyed gossiping so much. Oh-Rim, thinking about something, uttered an "ah." She put a finger to her lips in embarrassment. She was grateful for that incident earlier. One Kyung-so said she wasn't helping and asked not to worry about her anymore. Oh-Rim stared thoughtfully. Kyung-so tells Oh-Rim that she shouldn't have tried so hard with the pictures. The girl informed Oh-Rim something that this program would do everything for them. Either way, it's going to go down. Ho-Oh-Ryum, with her flower earrings, listened to Kyung-so attentively. In another scene, two guys were passed out in a surveillance room. One, Kyung-so, while talking to Ho-Oh-Rim, thought that she would still fail. Ho-Oh-Ryum didn't understand what they were trying to tell her. She replied that Oh-Ryum knows everything on her own. She says the girl will find out soon enough. Soon our star was removed. Thinking about Kyung-so, the girl felt confused and couldn't figure out what kind of person he was. The girl, hearing the sound, remembered her phone. She realized it was her phone. She needs to answer the call quickly. Soon Kyung-so went into her room and locked it. A cell phone appeared in the girl's hands. She stared at him intently. Ho-Oh-Rum is in her house slippers thinking about something. Ho-Oh-Rum looks around as she climbs the stairs, remembering where she saw the junior staff member. Ho-Oh-Rum reacted with surprise at something. She found someone in the kitchen. Ho-Oh-Rum thought about hiring someone as staff. A hand was clutching something in the ice. Oh-Rum squinted her eyes. Then she heard some kind of sound. The girl in the blue cap was eating ice and muttering something. Because she was very hot, she was drinking and eating ice. The girl exclaimed, "Hot!" and abruptly dipped her head into the bowl of ice. Oh-Rim was shocked. Soon something caught the girl's attention. She was very hot and her gaze was clouded. She saw the street and the guys sitting there. Ju-Gum-ul assumed that something important must be happening today. Han-ju remembered something. The girl wondered if that was why they were waiting so long. The girl said dreamily that she wanted to take a shower. Han-joy reacted to her words with surprise. Soon a staff member from the show ran out of the kitchen, which is what the guys noticed. She sped up, even though the floor was wet. Han-joy and the others didn't understand what was going on with the employee. At this point, the girl just jumped into the pool. All of this was noticed by the rest of the show as well. Ban Sungwoo and the red-haired girl were surprised to notice that the show employee had just jumped in. The guys looked at all of this with bewilderment. Everyone was surprised at what was happening. That girl just jumped into the water. There's probably a hidden camera in here. But someone is talking and reassuring, saying it's shallow. The bald guy looked into the water and noticed something. All he saw was a cap. The girls didn't realize what was going on. Suddenly, one of the girls screamed, for the coworker gave no signs of life. Someone demands that the girl be taken out. The unknown person is puzzled as to what has happened. A frightened girl asks for help. Someone is worried about the girl's condition. Surrounding people crowded around the unconscious girl. The girl, noticing something, leaned over to the lying man. When she touched him, she found something sticky. The girl wondered in surprise. In the same second, she bounced back, seeing the face of the drowned girl. Someone looked at the girl's face in horror, asking what had happened to him. A company of 3 has seen something disgusting. The green-haired girl examines the strange stains on her arm. A man in a navy blue t-shirt leaned over. He decided to check something out. A man in a blue t-shirt checks the pulse of a girl lying unconscious. 2 girls, one with brown hair, the other with pink hair, were startled by something. One of them exclaimed, "What?" The girl pressed herself against the young man's back. He was confused by what was happening. Someone asks if he's sure he checked her pulse correctly. He states that the girl is not breathing. Ju-Gumul nervously tells someone to call the paramedics. The girl holding the walkie-talkie reports that she can't reach anyone. Song Ji-so assumed that what was happening was a prank with a hidden camera. The girl with short brown hair was surprised. She denied her involvement in any planned situation. Song Ji-so thought the employee was lying, but she answered in the negative. Remote cameras only take pictures from weird angles. This is not a hidden camera prank. Oh-Ryum seems to have realized something. She wonders when the cameras stopped working. A girl with gathered hair complained to her friend about an itch that had been bothering her since yesterday. The friend, wearing a blue t-shirt, agreed that she too was suffering from severe itching. The girl with brown hair touches her neck, which shows some kind of mark. Oh-Rim, startled by something, exclaimed to herself. She thought apprehensively of the other employees. The guy decided to do CPR. Oh-Ryum, calling out to Ju-Geum-il. The other guy ordered Ju-Geum-il to step back. This puzzled the girl. The guy forbade everyone from touching her. Spots on the affected area of skin may be a toxic reaction or a symptom of an infectious disease such as chickenpox. Then the same man introduced himself as a veterinarian. His name is Henry, in case you've forgotten. The gray-haired man suggested the girls and the others didn't object. He noticed that there was some sticky liquid all over the girl's body. The man, looking at something, thought of a viscous liquid. The man asks if the girl has had any symptoms, such as a cough or fever. The woman replied that the girl had been feeling fine until today. There was a question about contagion and the safety of the program. The three girls, terrified, covered their mouths with their hands. One of them offered to come inside as soon as possible. Hanjoy suggested Kyungsoo come with him. He said it was dangerous here. Kyungsoo hears her name, but she doesn't seem to care. The girl in the cap was lying there, seemingly breathing and seemingly not. Sung-woo, worried about Orium, assuming she was shocked. She said she was fine, but then she noticed something. The man instructed another female employee to inform the rest of the staff of what was happening. The man looked puzzled. The girl in the tracksuit watched in amazement as someone stood up in front of her. She was surprised to recognize the fallen man as an employee. Someone realized she was alive. The girl asked Ju Gyum-eul to support the girl, a woman in an athletics C. Uniform worries about the condition of a girl bowing her head. She's advised to breathe slowly. A man with a tattoo and two girls are discussing a female co-worker. The young man, remembering something, says, but he is alarmed to realize that she has no pulse. The girl, looking at the young man in surprise, exclaimed. The girl sensed something amiss. Ju Gyum-eul assumed that the girl was feeling ill due to temporary dizziness caused by a blocked airway and suggested that she be seated. The guy, noticing something, stopped. He was surprised by what he saw. Ju Gyum-eul looked at his hand covered in some viscous substance with astonishment. Suddenly, he shuddered sharply. The man looked around in confusion. The co-worker looked at the bald guy with a crazed look, and then her mouth opened. Guess we won't be seeing the bald guy again.